Can you help me?
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah, thank you.
మీరాగా చెప్పింది బడికి పోయింది.
Hello, Bhuwana, are you there? Hello, Bhuwana? Bhuwana, Lakshman sir? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Bhuwana, are you in the meeting?
Yes, sir, I am.
Yeah. Okay. Dear
ಇದೀನಿ ಅಕ್ಕ
participants, sir?
ಇದೀನಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಏನ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್
ಅಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ನನಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಸರ್ ಅದರಿಂದಾಗಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್ ಒಂದು 5 to 10 minutes ಸಾರಿ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಇನ್ಕನ್ವೀನಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾನು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸರ್
ಓಕೆ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ 12 ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬಿಗಿನಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 68 70 ಇದ್ರು ಓಕೆ ಸೊ ಡಿಯರ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೆಂಟ್ಸ್ so due to technical reason so it may late by 5 to 10 minutes please wait the program will start quickly please wait all of you
ಅದೇ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರಂತೆ ಸರ್ ಏನು ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಸೊ ಅದರಿಂದ ಸರ್
Sir, are you letting in?
ಯಾ ಹೂ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್
Sir, me Bhuwana.
ಯಾ ಯು ಆರ್ ದೇರ್ ನೋ ಬೋನಾ ವಾಟ್ಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್
Nothing like that, sir, but I just got in my cell phone.
Yeah, okay. See, we are waiting for principal madam for another 5-10 minutes. Hello.
Yeah, sir.
Pradeep sir, are you there? Pradeep sir?
ಇರಿ ಬರ
Anupa madam join ಆದ್ರ ಶಶಿಕಲಾ ಮೇಡಮ್
ನಾನ್ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಶಶಿಕಲಾ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ದು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ
Yeah, no, because she said she's in a meeting. I will join in another 5 minutes. So,
okay, I'll just check. Please wait.
dear participants, kindly, we are very sorry for this inconvenience. Please wait for another 5 minutes because we are waiting for our principal ma'am to join. Hello.
Sir, okay, sir.
Yes, madam.
We can start, sir. It's getting late.
Yeah,
Please
okay, ma'am.
let us start. Yeah.
Ma'am, I got a message from principal. She's unable to join the meeting, it seems. due to her busy schedule. So she said we can go with the program. I'm very sorry.
Yeah. Please start.
Akshay,
Sir?
you requested to speak. Which one? The presidential remark after the chief guest. Which one? The address.
Okay,
then
sir.
Then she will get the time. Okay.
Okay, sir. Sure. Andre yaವಾಗ, sir?
Just before vote of thanks. Actually,
Okay.
that is formally that is the actual time to the presidential remark. So now, if she is unable to join, better to join around 5:15. So then ask her to get the presidential.
Then we can join her, sir. Sure,
Yes.
sir.
Okay.
We can start. Bhuvana, are you there?
Yes, sir, I am here.
Yeah. Is Trisha there? Trisha?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Anupama ma'am, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, sir.
Anupama madam?
Yes, I'm here, sir.
Okay, ma'am. I think we can.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we can, without further delay, we can start the program. I once again request sorry for this inconvenience.
Shall we start, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah. A very good afternoon to one and all. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. I am Bhuvana R, first BSc PCM student, YMLAT, Bangalore, Karnataka. On this auspicious occasion, I would like to welcome you all for the webinar on career opportunities in physics organized by the Department of Physics, Maharani Lakshmi Ammani College for Women, Autonomous. First BSc. Any problem, sir?
Yeah, I kindly request all of you to mute yourself.
Shall I continue, sir?
Yeah, please start.
Yeah. On this auspicious occasion, I would like to welcome you all for the webinar on career opportunities in physics organized by the Department of Physics, Maharani Lakshmi Ammani College for Women, Autonomous, Bangalore, Karnataka. I request everyone to mute your audio and switch off the video throughout the program for smooth functioning. You will be giving the opportunity to submit text questions to today's presenter by typing your questions in the chat box. You may send in your questions at any time during the presentation. We will collect these and address them during the question and answer session at the end of today's presentation. Prayer is an action. It is the process of talking to God with energy in order to achieve a purpose. So, let us begin this webinar by seeking the blessing of the Lord Almighty with a prayer song. I now request Ms. Sri Lakshmi J, 3rd BSc PMC student, to grace this occasion with the prayer song.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope I'm audible.
Good afternoon, you can continue.
Yeah, sure. Duravarnam Subhagajawadanam Sundaram Suprasannam Vashyam Trailokyavandhyam Nirupamacharanam Nirmalam Nityapujyam Krityam Mokshapradanam Karadraita Kalasham Dantapalanam पाशाङ्कुशं च वन्दे विघ्नेश्वरं तं नतजनवदनं श्वेतवासोऽवसानम्. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sri Lakshmi, for rendering such a beautiful prayer. I now request Professor Anupama Madam, Head Department of Physics, YEMLAC, to deliver the welcome address. Ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, Bhuwana. Just. Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome our beloved principal, Dr. Shashikala A, to have accepted to grace this occasion. She's on YouTube right now. I welcome our YEMLAC family IQAC coordinator, Professor Sharmista Datta, to be part of this program. I welcome our Dr. Renuka Srihari, Chief of Examinations, YEMLAC, for accepting our invitation. I welcome Dr. Ganesh G. Omer, today's speaker on career opportunities in physics. What is your plan after BSc? Sir, your journey as a brilliant student and a young researcher in itself will be the inspiration to everyone. I welcome all dear teachers, students, the participants on this occasion. Thank you.
Bhuwana, are you there?
Sir.
Yeah. Bhuwana?
Yeah, thank you, Bhuwana. Now, now I request Akshay sir, Assistant Professor, Department of Physics, YEMLAC, to give an overview of the webinar. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Good evening to one and all present here. It's my great pleasure and prestige to give a brief note on the webinar on career opportunity in physics, organized by the Department of Physics, YEMLAC, Bangalore, Karnataka. Career is very much essential to everyone, and the choice of career is very important as it is a life turning point. Physics students often believe that they have only two career paths to choose from, either as a teacher or as a researcher. Such an illusion is a result of their limited exposure to the vast array of opportunities available to them beyond their horizon. This webinar aims to manifest this common illusion among our students, thereby enlightening them to a wide range of career opportunities awaiting a physics graduate, including industrial opportunities. The speaker will focus on various tricks and tips on the art of studying physics in order to extract the full potential of the student. Besides, he will also speak on how and when to start preparing for the competitive exams. I hope this will be an eye-opener for all the students and rare opportunity to get knowledge on career opportunities. The participants are requested to make use of this webinar in effective manner. I would like to conclude my talk by a beautiful quote: all our dreams can come true if we have courage to pursue them. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for giving such a beautiful overview of the webinar. Now I call Ms. Trisha, second BSc PCM student, to introduce the speaker, Dr. Ganesh G. Omer. Over to you, Trisha.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon to everybody. Welcome to today's session. I would like to introduce today's speaker, Dr. Ganesh T. Omar. Sir did his high school and intermediate at Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay Sanatan Dharma Vidyalaya, Kanpur. He has completed his bachelor's and master's degree from the Indian Institute of Science Education and Research, Bhopal, with Inspire Fellowship. He has obtained his doctoral PhD degree from the Department of Physics, National University of Singapore, with Research Fellowship. He is a physicist and material scientist with over 5 years of experience engaged with oxide, electronic, and magnetic devices. He is working with pulse layer deposition systems extensively and characterization in various testing equipments to investigate materials multifunctionalities. He has been designing and developing spintronic devices with the motivation to solve the pressing problems of high energy consumption in CMOS technology. He has worked on summer fellow as visiting researcher for short durations in various universities, such as École Polytechnique de Montréal, Canada, Institut des Études Scientifiques de Cardiff, France, Indian Institute of Technology, Madras. Dr. Ganesh T. Omar has received several academic awards, including Best PhD Thesis Gold Medal in 2021, Best Graduate Researcher Award in 2020, IEEE Gold Medalist in Magnetic Symposium in 2020, Global Young Scientist Award in 2020. He is a METAC Global Youth Fellow. In his student days, he has cleared and qualified various competitive exams, namely IIT, JEE, CSIR, JRF, JES, and GATE. Warm welcome to you, sir. We would love to listen from you.
Thank you. So thank you, Trisha. So can we start now or?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You can definitely start, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
All
sir.
right.
Thank you, Trisha.
Thank
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Maybe I can share the screen to you all.
Yeah, sir.
Please,
I
sir.
request you now to take over the session. Over to you, sir.
All right. Sorry, when I started sharing, it is showing me a message that host disabled the participant sharing screen.
Yeah. I think, can you share now, sir? Yeah,
All right.
please.
Yes, I can do that.
Okay.
So can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So first of all, thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity where I'm going to talk about the career options which are available mainly in physics. And I believe most of us here are having a major in physics background, and either they want to pursue the physics as a career in the future. And I'm really thankful for the organizers, especially Akshay from Maharani Lakshmi Annamalai College of Women, for arranging this webinar. Before I start with my discussion, any discussion about today's talk, I have a very simple question to ask all of you. How many of you understand what's the job and what is a career? So it's something like, maybe I turn on my pointer. Okay. So it is basically, is a very important to understand what do you mean by the job and what do you mean by the career. So job is actually a very simple term, which is defined as a task. You perform a task and you get paid for that. But a career is something which is a little different from the job. And what it means is that career, you need to build yourself, and you can build with your own interest. And physicist is something which is much more than that. As like, for example, one of my professor, who is now a distinguished professor, has once said that one should build a career, not look for a job. Therefore, one should build a career in physics as well. Physics is, as you know, that is an exciting adventure that inspires the young people, and you can develop a knowledge, you can expand the knowledge about nature, and you can explore many different things. I believe when someone talk about a physics as a career option, we always have one ideal situation in our mind, And that ideal situation, it comes for a physicist, what we understand is to be a researcher or professor or scientist or something in that direction. We know the process which goes through like this, like we first get an undergraduate degree in physics, we get a master degree in physics, then we start doing research, then we publish papers, and thereafter we do a PhD degree as well, Doctor of Philosophy, and you keep doing your research, you publish your papers, and then one day you become like a researcher or professor or something like a scientist. So that's the career option which we all understand from the physics perspective. And you'll always climb up in this ladder and you'll contribute and increase the knowledge with your own academic research. And you'll develop many different concepts, or you will develop interesting physics. These career options are actually really good options. These career options will enable you to give enough money while fulfilling your lifetime goals. That will give you that's how you can contribute to the scientific community as well. You get lots of freedom with this. You get the funding to support your research. You get a freedom to choose your research area as well. It's a job. That kind of job is actually having great respect in the society. You get a really good flexibility, and also you leave a very great impact on the society. Therefore, this career is one of the best career someone can choose. But right now in today's webinar, we are going to discuss about something else other than this physics career option. And I have seen many students talking about, worried about the career options when they choose a physics as a major in their BSc or MSc program. Since most of you have already taken physics or you're thinking about career option in physics, you're always thinking about only one direction, as I just now discussed about. And you also have multiple different questions. Like first question which comes in your mind is that, are there other career opportunities available in physics? Can we really make money while fulfilling our life goals? Or can we live a balanced or happy life? So these kind of questions will always be there when we take any career. However, all of this, most of us are not familiar with the other career options, which can provide all of this, which can answer all of these questions which you have in your mind. Physics is actually a really broad perspective to any problem, because while learning the physics, you develop your mind in such a way that you will learn how to consider a problem, how to solve that problem. You'll not be bounded with context. This will give you an innovative thinking to use that skills in different type of fields. And we always have a bachelor degree in physics as a great foundation, first of all. So I'm starting with an example for a BSc or MSc students who has a different interest other than what just now I discussed about. For example, you might have interest in going for some forensic or investigation related work, or you might have interest in some medical system or healthcare. You might have interest in writing journals. In journals or magazine. You might have interest in air traffic controller related stuff. You can all of them achieve by looking for options in different areas like what I have shown here. And all of them, the physics knowledge is something which is very important. And other than that, there is something which I just now came in my mind, is something like a brain research. If you're interested in doing that way, so you can go for National Brain Research Center, which is NBRC in Haryana. On the other hand, in this growing world, physics skills are especially needed in the data science as well. So in the community right now, people need a revolution is going on in this generation where people need a large scale machine to machine communication. So there are 4 steps like artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, cloud computing, or Internet of Things, where we really need a physics type of students who can have the skills or coding. They can help to build more different type of systems, something like what I have discussed now. On the other hand, the companies like I have shown here, many different companies, have what they need is physics student with a background where they learn different concepts in physics, and they can use those concepts in technical background. These companies R&D department, like a research and development department, where they need physicists as an engineer or as a physicist, where the physics background can easily be applied to them. For example, one of my friend was doing a PhD program in physics in Singapore, and has a physics background, and he applied in a company named Micron, which I've written here, which is a semiconducting manufacturing company. And that company is actually based on, they build some computer memory or computer data storage, where dynamic random access memory or flash memory or USB flash memory, that computer devices they can build. So he applied to that company, and now he is a really developed based on the physics skill. He is now a process engineer, and he is enjoying that process. He's able to make the bridge from physics to engineer, and he's able to follow his passion and leading a fulfilled life. On the other hand, we all know the example of Elon Musk. I'm giving some of the examples to inspire you all. Elon Musk is an engineer, industrial designer, technology entrepreneur, and philanthropist. When he was in his school, physics was one of the subjects where he was really good at. Elon Musk has pursued a major in physics and business. While his business education was excellent, Elon actually admits always that he definitely preferred a physics background. Elon's interest in physics was inspired from Richard Feynman, which is a very famous physicist. And as we all know, he is the CEO of many different companies, and each of companies has really different varieties like brain science, the space technology, automobile industries, artificial intelligence, and transportation industries. So this is one of the examples I showed. The other example, which I really like it, is we all know about our ex-11th president of India. He's actually an Indian aerospace. He was actually an Indian aerospace scientist and politician who served as a president from 2002 to 2007. He was born in Rameshwaram, Tamil Nadu, and he studied physics. Along with the physics, he studied the aerospace engineering. He actually spent 4 decades as a scientist and science administrator, mainly in the defense technology, which is something called a DRDO, Defense Research and Development Organization, which is known as a DRDO. He also worked for Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO. So with this example, what I mean is, if you are doing a physics and if you have daily passion to do something, you can build your own field, your own bridge to connect and to develop your career in that direction. Therefore, I would like to emphasize again, the irrespective of what other is going to say and other what made you to believe, physics is actually one of the broadest possible education. While MBBS, if you think about a different type of student, like who are doing some doctor MBBS degree or doing a law degree, most of them are actually going to be either a doctor or lawyer. For them, the career opportunity is very limited. But when you're doing a physics, you have a really vast opportunity. You can do multiple things. Why? Because you have developed that skills to do many different things. So in my opinion, so you get a really good chance. For example, I'm going to give you an example. So all of us know about the classical mechanics. If you are really interested in doing a classical mechanics, you can apply those concepts to become a mechanical engineer. If you understand the Maxwell equations very well, or a solid state physics, you can use those concepts to understand the electrical engineering. If you understand the quantum mechanics very well, the multi-body problems and all those, what you can do is you can clearly understand the chemistry perspective, and you can be a chemist or you can have careers related to chemistry. There are a lot more. I mean, we all know that physics is also involved with multiple different types of mathematics. You can apply to different areas in mathematics, there is a one called a computational physics as well. Now I'm going to start with something, what is involved in the career physics. There are three perspectives, which is the main thing which I want to tell you. One of them is academia. The second is industry job. And third one is entrepreneurship. So the first, academia, what I mean is that you can pursue your physics career while staying inside a university or institute or in national labs, or you can be a research scientist and develop your physics career. You can have the industry jobs where you go to the industry, as I discussed before. You go to the Department of Research and Development. You work for some government, public services, or you go for some companies like IT, finance, and software companies. The third option is something which is very different from first two. That is something called entrepreneurship, where you can be your own boss, you can be a consultant. That is also one of the options which people have been looking for, and they can actually achieve from very easily from physics. Sorry. Okay, so I'm going to start with something called the opportunities which are there in BSc Physics. So first, I will take these opportunities, options which are available. I will take one by one. First, sorry, I'm getting a lot of noise.
In the name of Daswini, yeah, thank you. So you can continue, sir.
Okay, sorry for that. So opportunities which are available in BSc Physics, I'm going to take one by one. For example, the first one is MSNCA. Someone, if really interested in IT options, those are the students who are really interested in doing something related to computers, and they like to do coding, and they like to sit in front of the computer and do that kind of work. So they can pursue BCA, MCA, and something which is people do it. But right now, what I'm trying to say here is that after BSc also you can pursue MCA. You can apply for different type of exams which are available, like NIMCT, which is for NIT's admission. There are different colleges like PHU, GNU, and few others, Hyderabad universities, where you can opt MCA type of career options. There are multiple others as well. And there are very good financial package for these kind of options once you pursue a job after doing this degree. The second thing is MBA. If you're interested in doing management or business career, then you have options like FMS and IAMs. So Faculty of Management Studies and IAMs, you all know. What you need to do is CAT exams after BSc, and then you can pursue this MBA option. The third is B.Ed and TT, teaching jobs, which is a government teacher jobs, where private or government, both of them. And then there is a central teacher eligibility test for after applying for this test, you can opt for the teaching option. Fourth career options which you can opt for is the government jobs, where there are multiple different options available. The first one is like a civil services exam, where multiple options are there: Indian Administrative Services, Indian Forest Services, Indian Police Services, and there are something called Indian Armed Force, Indian Defense Services. So these kind of options are also there. You can apply for BCS exams, which is state level. So these all options are available after BSc. So if you're interested for the government jobs, you can find these kind of options. Here, IPPS is something called Institute of Banking Personnel Selection, and RRB is Indian Railway. RRB is Indian Recruitment Control Board. There are a few other options in the employment area, which is, I've written some of them here. I'm not going to discuss each one by one, but what you can do is take a note, and based on what is really interest for you and what is going to motivate you a lot for these kind of areas, you can look for those options, go to the websites and look for which kind of opportunities are available. For example, the aviation is actually involves all aspect of aviation and pilot career is a very good option. So that's the first thing. Now the second option is for MSc students, which are opportunities available, is something for which you can give some exams, something called NET exams, which is CSIR and UGC. Once you qualify that exam, you can actually become a lecturer, or you can obtain a PhD degree from a very good universities or institutes in India. Then you can give a GATE exams, and qualifying that exams will give you an opportunity to work for different type of PSU-like companies. PSU-like companies are actually companies where the 51% share of the government is it's government, and others are private sectors. So those companies are also very good. Then you can take options after giving a GATE. You can go for a PhD option as well. You can go multiple different government and scientific places where you can be a scientific or technical officers. And then there is something NIE, LIT exams, which I heard of. You can apply for these exams. And there are career in forensic science, as I discussed in the beginning, which are also there. Career as a science educator, you can be a editor for a magazine or publications options. There are some research scientist career which are also available. I discussed before in ISRO, BARC, and DRDO and ONGC, where you can be a technical assistant scientist after multiple different type of degree, what you have, like after BSc Physics or MSc Physics, or also after PhD. You can go for national labs. There are 44 CSIR national labs where you can be a technical assistant or scientist. You can go to some of the physics research laboratory which are there in Ahmedabad. There is a Shah Institute of Nuclear Physics in Kolkata and Nuclear Science Center in Delhi. So these options are available for all physics students. It's just what you need to do is to realize what is your really interest inside the physics. Now the third is, there is something very different which I'm going to talk, is some of us are really interested in something a climate related science or environmental. They are interested in that kind of environmental science, but they want to pursue as a physics career. They can actually go to some of the places called IITM, Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, where they can be a project scientist. They can opt this for after MSc Physics. They can go to India Meteorological Department and become a scientist after MSc Physics. For geophysics also there are options. Geophysicist, scientist B in GSI, Geological Survey of India. You can be in different places after ONGC. You give the GATE exam, you can be a geophysicist. So these are options there. And some of the government sector I discussed before. Few other I'm noting it down here as a chemical and metallurgical assistant, CMA, Indian Railway, which is after BSc. You can go to Bharat Heavy Electronics Limited and National Thermal Power Corporation after MSc Physics. So whatever I have discussed so far, is something which you can opt for the options not in industry. But right now what I'm going to discuss is some of the options which are also available in the industry level type of jobs. As I discussed in the beginning, there are multiple companies which I've shown the slide before. I'm trying to show some of them here once again. So those industry companies are really happy to hire physics students because they have those skills as I discussed before. The company has research and development department. It doesn't matter where you're staying in the world. They always prefer to take those students have that kind of capability or that kind of skills. So there are few MNC companies like power or renewable energy type, aviation and healthcare industries. All of them are interested for that kind of talent. So one of them is like called Intel, which is making a computer processors company. is also a well-known company where you can apply for after your BSc or MSc. There is something IBM Research Lab. They're the first company who recently demonstrated quantum computation-based devices and claimed to achieve quantum supremacy. All other companies like Google, Microsoft, and also those kind of companies are looking for people who have the knowledge in quantum physics. There's one thing called Applied Material, which is a semiconductor chip, which is building a semiconductor chip for electronics. There is a one called Global Foundries, which is also developing semiconductor manufacturing type of devices. Very well-known companies are there. Where if you have interest in electronics or something called solid-state physics, you can opt for those kind of options. So right now, there's something very good news is coming about that Apple comes to India, which is talking about that Apple is also one of the options where they need some kind of engineers who has the physics background and physics or electrical engineering type of background. So the opportunities are many, but what you need is something to decide and to understand what kind of sub area you need to work on. So, and then there are a few others opportunity which I'm going to talk is in the financial and banking sectors. So financial industry is also looking for those quantitative skills, management, consultancy, and there are some IT companies like Infosys, Wipro, and CTS also looking for the same type of skills. There are some software companies like I think some of you might know some of the software companies like MATLAB, Mathematica. We use these kind of softwares where they need data science type of skills and that physicists can easily develop. So that is something which is very important to understand that you are open to work on in IT or computer engineering industry. So it is, no one is stopping you to apply for that kind of job. Then something I'm talking about in the next part is what actually physics, the students who are really interested in doing BSc physics, or they are pursuing the physics after the BSc physics, after BSc. So sometimes I've seen students applying for integrated MSc and PhD dual program. I'm summarizing some of the options which are available here. You can look for those options. If you're really interested, you can apply to those integrated MSc and PhD program by giving JEST and JAM exams in ISC Bangalore, TFR Mumbai, and ISERS. ISERS admission test is also available in ISERS. You can go for entrance exam directly to some of the places like if you're interested in astrophysics in IIA or IPHDAP. You can go for Indian Association for Cultivation of Science, ISES. You can do the MSc from the Premier Institute of India's by giving IIT JAM. You can go for IIT or NIT. You can go to JNU Delhi after giving the some JNU EE. There are a few other exams are also available. You can look into it, which can, after applying those exams, you can pursue your interest, which is there in the physics, to take it for the next level. And there are a few others which I have wrote down here in a different part of India. Now, while doing your physics work, how do you make your BSc life or your MSc life when you're doing physics? How do you make your life to be more enriching, or you make your life more interesting? That you can do by doing some short-term research projects or summer projects or internship. That is important because it improves your physics skills in a different perspective. When you get the experience for different lab, different places, you can open your mind to develop multiple different bridges of different fields in physics. So there are a few of them are summarized here. First one is a visiting student research program, which is called VSRP, which is in the TFR Mumbai. There are some summer research fellow programs in Indian Academy of Science. There are some visiting students internship program in Indian Institute of Astrophysics, Bangalore. You can clearly look for these options. There are summer fellowships. You can go to IITs, apply for it. Visiting student program in ARIES, if you're interested in astrophysics, there's something called Aryabhat Research Institute of Observational Science, ARIES in Nainital. I would encourage everyone who really like to do physics, I would encourage them to go for physics summer camps and also read scientific articles, read some cutting edge research. Why do we need all this? Because that gives you really the interest of physics. How do you develop that kind of research in the physics? So these kind of short-term programs are important. Most of in the college, you'll find that 3 months in the summer or 1 month in the winter, you will get an options where you are not going to be participating in the college activity. What you can do is you can participate in those short-term research projects. So in my journey, what I have done is I qualified IIT JEE, which is one of the exams to pursue a BTech degree. So basically, I will tell you my story a little bit to tell you how I pursue and how I became a research scientist in Singapore. My hometown is actually in Kanpur. So most of you know about the IIT Kanpur, which is Indian Institute of Technology. So when I give IIT and qualified IIT, everyone, my family and society wants me to go for BTech and do the IIT and all this. But during the time I started loving physics and I started understanding how the concepts of nature works. So I decided to join IISER Bhopal. So it's the Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research, where I get a chance to take options, multiple options, or take physics as a major options. And then IISER actually has given me opportunity to decide my major after 2 years. That is a really sufficient time for me to decide the major degree. So I received the Inspire Fellowship from government while doing the IISER study. And I get a chance to decide my major, which is in the physics. And I really enjoyed that. So that, after when I was joining IISER, I never thought of doing a BTech degree or looking for some IIT and all this. But something which I enjoyed doing physics made me really happy and my decision was correct. So after that, when I said there were some internship I did, in one summer, I went to the IIT Madras. I went to some outside of India, some places. I received the fellowship from METAC Global, which is a very well-known fellowship. If you're also interested in doing some fellowship program or some internship program outside of India, those options are also available. One of them is called METAC's Global Internship. It's also very well known. There is something called a SN Bose Fellowship for his physics students, and there are a few more. One of them is called DAD Fellowship, which is a Germany fellowship. You can look for this option as well. Then later on, I decided to continue my physics understanding and to develop my advanced concept and to improve myself professionally. What I did is I opt for options for choosing a PhD from outside India. And for doing a PhD outside of India, we need to give some exams like GRE and TOEFL. Those exams, once I qualified, I got an admission from a very world top university, which is a National University of Singapore. And there recently, last year, I received the Best Graduate Researcher Award of doing research on some systems called oxide electronics. And recently, when I submitted my thesis of PhD, I received a gold medal from Material Research Society. NUS has provided me all fully funded scholarship with full tuition and living costs. So once you tackle these kind of exams like GRE and TOEFL, and you get a chance to do a PhD from outside India, you will be able to, those outside universities or institutes will be giving you full funded scholarship and full tuition fees. You can achieve whatever you need in physics for free. So that is something very amazing. And universities outside India are actually providing that. So that is something nice. So right now in my lab or in our work, what I'm doing is multiple different research where I'm actually going to the clean room, doing some device preparation. We do some kind of characterization using some machine called atomic force microscopy, piezoelectric force microscopy, magnetic force microscopy, multiple different type of microscopy to analyze the devices. We do a specialized helium ion microscopy. We prepare samples of STM where we can see the atomic structure of the materials. We use pulse laser deposition where we prepare the samples in a very high quality. And we can control the growth of materials in a very precise manner, even in the nanometer region. That is something very nice. We use SQUID and PPMS type of setups to understand the magnetic and electrical properties of many different materials. And that we can achieve by going a temperature really low, like 3 Kelvin, you can understand how low this temperature will be. And also applying a very high magnetic field, which is around 9 Tesla. We have some synchrotron source where we can do some X-ray microscopy measurements as well. So with this all facilities, we have, I've been doing a collaboration with many different universities outside the Singapore as well, somewhere in the France, different place in Singapore, Netherlands, USA, and Israel, and all these places around the world. We have been doing collaboration to develop the research. So with those research facilities and the collaboration, I've been able to publish research papers with our collaborators and contribute to the development of the devices. So with this, I'm going to inspire with one of the things which I always discuss about how can we understand how we can contribute to the society. So with one of the examples, which I'm going to share here is, you imagine a circle, something like this, and that contains all of the human knowledge, okay? And what you do is, by the time when you finish your elementary school, you know a little bit, but the human knowledge is here. But once you go to the high school, you know a little more. And when you get a bachelor degree, since you're specialized in doing one kind of work in the bachelor degree, you build a dent here and you develop your knowledge in one of the direction. You gain the specialty, okay? And when you do the master degree, you develop a little more. So that development is going in one of the direction, unidirectional. And that is something good. It deepens that specialty. And while reading the research paper I discussed before, you read the research paper, you understand the physics, you go for more thing, you actually reach to the edge of the human knowledge. And what you need to do is just push a little more to increase the human knowledge. And that's what you do when you're doing the PhD. What you do is you push the boundary a little more, and one day, once you keep pushing, you will see something like this in your perspective. So what you're doing is, in outer perspective, you see a very small dent, but actually what you're doing is you're creating the human knowledge, which is being increased day by day. So with that, I will say, like, don't shy away from physics taking as a career options. You have a lot more to do. And at the end of the day, it is a career. You need to get out of what you need from the career first. You look for something which is going to give you a satisfaction, to give you a really motivation. People are paid based on how fast they learn and what they exactly at, not based on what they're curious about. So don't worry about that thing also. Due to the way and standards by which the productivity and excellence is judged by the physics community, and the effort it takes to take there, I would say the physics is one of the most difficult way to get the state, but it's actually one of the best options which you can choose. So at the end, I will say, you keep pushing, use your problem solving skills, to invent, analyze, improve, and innovate. With that, thank you so much. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your deep knowledge about career opportunities in physics. It was an excellent and at the same time a very informative talk. Now, this session is open for questions. I request the participants to unmute themselves and ask their queries. We want this webinar to be a very interactive one, so we request to please unmute and ask.
Hello.
Yes. Hello.
Yes,
Hi.
please
Good
go
evening,
on.
sir. I'm
Good evening.
Shantanu. I'm a final year physics student from Delhi University.
Hello. Yes.
Actually, I've been really interested in this data science for quite some time now.
Right.
For my interest in coding, especially Python. But the problem is whenever we talk about data science as a career, it's always like see, finance is doing really great or like marketing is doing really well. But when we, like in the area of physics, how do we apply data science? Like, is there a particular career or is it just a tool?
No, actually, this is a very good question. So I have been thinking about keeping one of the slide for that, but I have included one of the section here. Maybe I go back to the slide where I'm talking about some coding options. So you see that one. So there are some software companies. If you're really interested in doing a Python, you enjoy doing coding, then you can look for those companies and go to the website, apply for the company simply by saying that you're doing physics in that kind of background. For example, as you mentioned that you're in the final year, what you can say is you are the final year student of BSc and you have been doing the Python from last how many years or whatever that you can mention that. So that is the skill is being there for you. They will definitely look for that kind of option. And since these companies are really needed to people who are who is good in doing the coding, so they will definitely consider your option. It is as equivalent as if someone is going from the financial sector. So don't worry about that you have been doing the physics, so you cannot really apply to those companies. They will consider you as the main candidate because they understand the physicists have more capabilities other than doing the coding.
Thank you very much, sir. And it was a great talk.
Thank you.
I hope Shantanu's question is being answered. Anyone else?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Can you hear me, sir?
Hello.
So, sir, physics is related to a technical stream. And
sorry, I
industry
can't.
People,
can you say once
hello?
again? Sorry, I didn't understand.
Physics is a technical subject, base of technical subject.
Okay.
But industry people, they are not taking as internship candidates. Why?
Industry are not taking what?
The physics students, those who studied physics in their bachelor degree, they're not taking as their internship candidates. Why?
Oh,
they should
no.
to encourage pure science. They can go for this, no?
Yes, that's right. But I would say that it's not the case all the time. Actually, industries, if you apply some of the industries where there is a department or there is a sector where they are doing some research and development related work, those industry companies will be happy to take the students coming from physics. But you need to have the skills which is required for their research and development program. For example, as there was a question came, if you know the Python, you know that you like the coding. So if a company want a student for an internship who is really good at doing coding, they will be happy to take those students. And if you really want to continue in the industry, you need to develop those skills as a physics student. So and then that's all. And then I will add one more thing. If you get an internship in a industry, you get a really good chance to work in the same industry also. So as a suggestion, I would say that you keep applying for the companies who and also match your skills what you have, and then you make a bridge and then apply for those companies. They will definitely take you. It's just that you need to develop those skills. Is that answer to your question? Or
okay, sir. Thank you.
We guess Basu Sriranga's question is being answered. Anybody else? You're welcome with your question.
Sir?
Yes, please.
Evening, sir. Good talk.
Good evening. Thank you.
Sir, I studied electronics and communication systems, sir, BSc, sir. I know hardware and software, sir. I invented some things like this, sir.
Sorry, maybe I need to see what are you trying to show?
So it's an USB, sir, small USB, sir.
Okay.
It's used as an CPU, sir. Small CPU.
Oh, that's interesting. How big is it?
Yes, sir. Sir, I know hardware and software, sir, something, sir. I'm fresher, sir. I'm now only completed 3rd year, sir. What type of company I am going to take this type of stuff, sir?
What kind of company will take? Sorry, can you repeat once again?
What kind of company, sir, recruited me like this, sir? Like this invention, sir, and also.
Sir can understand. You can ask in Hindi. You ask in Hindi, no problem.
Sir, no, sir, I am not in Hindi. I am Tamil, sir.
You're not in Hindi. Okay.
Okay. So communication, right? So probably what I understand, since my background is a little different. So because in physics also there is a vast options, as I mentioned before. So what I understand, the communication skills, which like something which you can use in the IT companies, as I mentioned before, like Infosys or Wipro type companies or CTS, where you can first look for, because those companies will also have a really vast options. So what you do is you look for the options which are really relevant for your interest, and then go for the internship in those companies, and then continue your internship as your job position later on that company. That's all I know these companies, but I'm not very familiar with other IT companies. Probably you can look for those IT companies which are really relevant for your work, which you are showing it to me.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Surya, for coming up with an query. We hope your question is being answered. Anyone else?
If you have any other questions also later on after this webinar, you are always welcome to write down to me. I have already given my email ID, and probably Akshay can help you to distribute.
Yeah, sure, sir, sure. Bhuvan, I think there is a lot of question in chat box and also in YouTube.
Sir, yes.
Can you address?
If no one is ready to come up with a question by unmuting themselves, now it is over to our moderator, Uma Maheshwari, 3rd BSc PCM. Over to you, Uma Maheshwari.
Thank you, Bhuvana. Good evening, sir. First of all, it was an indeed honor to have you as a speaker today. I mean, We usually don't have such young speakers coming up. So thank you so much. It was such an eye-opening session for all the career options after physics, sir. You conveyed all the broadly available options to us.
Probably I would have missed some of them. Sorry for that, but I try to make it as much as possible. Maybe it's not like what options I've given in my slides is enough. Maybe there are more options available.
Yes, sir. We have a question from Divya ji. Her
Sure.
question is, can we study medical physics after our bachelor degree? And what are the career options after completing medical physics?
Medical physics, okay. So there is a one option which I showed in the slide before, which I know there's a medical physicist. You can be a medical physicist or a radiation physicist. What you can do is you can do a diploma in radiological physics in the BARC. Probably this is the one of the good options. It gives you a really good government job, secure job, and you can pursue a medical research there. So it's called Diploma in Radiological Physics in BARC. Is that answer to Divya's question?
I hope Divya is like, that is what Divya was expecting, sir. We have another question from Kani Mosh. How to crack NET exam?
How to crack? Okay, that's a tough question. So I think probably the idea for you to crack the NET exam is for you to study the concept of the physics, basic physics very well. And you should have the problem skills to solve those problems. I mean, I believe if you are reading the basic physics very nicely, like classical mechanics, quantum mechanics, and electronic and magnetism, and statistical mechanics. These are the 4 basic pillars for a good physicist. If you understand those pillars, you can solve the problems which are going to be asked in the NET. So you build your really good, I would say, good understanding in these 4 pillars first, and then you look for the old year NET exams. Try to understand the pattern and see how are the questions being asked. I remember when I gave my NET exam, right now the things and patterns are changed quite a lot. When I give the NET exams, how I prepared, I will tell you. So I try to focus on the questions which are not very easy, not very tough, somewhere in the middle. So the questions, so you will find in the NET exams that there were questions which is having less marks. There are questions which is having a really high marks. But there are questions which is having the, like somewhere in the middle. I try to focus on those questions first, because I believe those questions will be giving me a good marks, and I can solve all of them, most of them, very easily. Why? Because if you try to focus on the tough questions first, you'll waste a lot of time and you may not be able to solve all of them. So it will just waste you a lot of time, because this is a competitive exam. So you need to finish as many as questions and you need to answer all of them, as many as possible, to get your rank good. And if you solve only the simple problem, you may not be able to achieve good marks. Like, you will get very less marks. So I would suggest you to focus on the questions which is having middle somewhere in there. And you solve those first, then you come to the simple problem, then you come to the hard problem. I think I remember when I gave the NET exams, they make the hard problem really hard. Sometimes it's like you can't really solve in that time period. So you don't focus on those kind of hard problems. You'll have to be very tricky with that. So you focus on the problems which you can solve easily. If you cannot solve, don't waste the time. Move for the next question and solve that one. that's the trick which I use. Probably I can suggest to use that way. Probably this can help.
Thank you, sir. We have another question from Suresh. Can you guide us for entrepreneurship in physics research? How can that be done? Is it feasible?
Yes, entrepreneurship is really feasible, and some of my friends has also started a really good career in that direction. One of my friend, he started a startup by doing a. So how does it work? Let me start in that way. So if you have a really good idea where you can develop a device or you can develop a some new programming skills, so something which you can patent. For example, you are working on some research problem and you develop a something new material. I'm just giving you an example. Or you develop a new architecture or device. And what you do is you apply for the patent. Once you get the patent, you can make your own company. You can start getting the fund from different financial sectors. And that's how you can build your company. So for that, what you need is a good idea, which any physicist can get it if you're really interested in doing physics. And different perspective of physics, for example, in the condensed matter physics, I don't know if you all know. So most people work on some solid state type of physics, where they develop a new different type of materials. They develop new physics inside going on those materials. So somehow, if they can develop new materials, they can do a patenting and then sell those products to other people who will need those kind of material science related new material system. So that's how you can start your startup.
Thank you, sir. We have another question from Nandini asking, what are the career opportunities by taking astrophysics?
Okay, so in astrophysics, if you are really interested, there are a few options which I tell you in my slides before. Okay. Okay, so you can do a MSc dual PhD degree program that's called integrated MSc PhD program in physics and astrophysics. That's a really good program, which is one of them called IPH-DAP. You need to give the entrance exam. Once you qualify that exams, you can really opt your research career in that direction. There is another one called IIA, which is Indian Institute of Astrophysics, which is also a very good place. You can also opt a MSc PhD dual degree program in that IIA institute as well. There are a few other astrophysics program. One is in the Nainital. I'm not able to find right now, but I think during my presentation, I told you guys about there's a very good university in Nainital that's also very famous for astrophysics. You can apply for that as well. Later on, I will be able to share the slides with you guys. You can look into it and try to find the options which are available in the astrophysics. One of them, as I already told you, two of them, and one is in the Nainital as well. If you want to look for the options outside of India and you want to pursue research in astrophysics, there are plenty of options. And what you can do is you can apply for some competitive exams, as I mentioned about GRE and TOEFL, and then you get a really fully funded PhD programs outside of India as well.
Okay, sir. We have another question from Nitish Shoni telling, I am an MSc student. I'm not a fast learner of physics, but I love physics, sir. Please tell me some important things to increase my command on physics.
Okay, first of all, you don't have to think you're a slow learner. Don't believe in that way. Physics is, I mean, I would say if I understand all physics, so that means I will say that I don't understand physics. So it is always like you cannot learn each and everything. This is the first thing which you have to remember. Physics is a very vast options. You cannot really easily finish everything. Slow learner and fast learner is also a different thing. If you are a slow learner, don't worry about it. Keep it motivated yourself and keep doing slowly. Take one step one by one, and then you will be able to finish. I would suggest don't worry. Physics will always be slow. So it just one day you will be able to do something which is very good. So I don't think you'll have to think about it in that way. So slow learner is okay. Actually, I'm quite happy that if you're really interested in physics and if you're a slow learner, don't worry. I would say don't worry. Keep doing.
Okay, so we have another question from Tanya Mehta. She tells, can you suggest or name some offline, online entrepreneurship program for post-MSc students? Also suggest some online websites to carry on research projects.
For internship program?
Yes, sir.
So for internship program, there are a few options which I showed before. There are few, one of them is in TIFR Mumbai. There is an ISC and IITs. They allow some, they give the fellowship as well while doing your internship. And you can go for, I'm not sure, this is the question, right? They want to know about the internship, right?
Yes, sir. Along with that, she is asking if there are some online websites where she can carry on her research projects.
Online programs where she can achieve online websites like, okay.
Yes,
so,
yes, sir.
Right now, situation is really tough due to the COVID situation. I think, I'm not really sure. I haven't checked the websites right now because I've been away from India for a very long time. But right now, if you look for the options, maybe they have opened some of the options online as well. You can carry on your research. You can talk to professor directly to those universities or to those institute and tell them that you're interested in doing internship program. That is something which is one option you can look for. Right now, I'm not sure which online websites. Probably, I think you'll have to look into it. I can't really tell about exactly which websites will give you the online options doing a fellowship. But I think you should look for the best IITs, ISIS, or what is called TFR, and some physics summer camps. There are multiple options you might be able to get it. But maybe due to COVID, they might have changed something. That new changes you'll have to look into online. I can't really answer for that right now.
Okay, so we have a question from Anis. It says, what is the better option after research in laser plasma interaction?
Okay, so there is an institute, I think it's in Indore, RCAT. That's a very good institute for you to pursue research in the direction of laser or something related to synchrotron and all these facilities. So what you can do is you can go to RRCAT website and look for the options available as a research scientist, which you can pursue later on when you finish your BSc or MSc programs. You can also look for after your PhD program as well. So that's the one of the very good place you can look for the laser research.
Okay, sir. We have a question coming in from Chandini. She is asking, Chandini, sorry. What are the industrial career options for MSc Electronics and Instrumentation and Solid State Physics?
Okay, solid state physics and industrial options is something a very good combination, I would say. As I mentioned before, there are industries like Intel, IBM. There's a company called Applied Material. There's a company, Micron, Global Foundries. All these companies are worldwide companies where you can look for the R&D sections. Those people need the skills of students who has done solid state physics course, or who has little bit knowledge about materials. How does it work? And they want students to grow those materials for development of semiconducting devices. So that is something which you can look for, those companies which I tell you.
We have a question. We have many questions coming in from YouTube also, sir. There's this parent called Shankar P. Who
Are we going to answer all of them?
No, sir. Just a few more. Just two more,
okay,
sir.
Sure.
My daughter has BSc Physics. After that, what are the best options in higher studies? MBA or MSc Physics or MCA?
Okay, that's something which she has to decide. I mean, I would say you have talked about MBA, MCA, and what is the third one you said? Higher studies.
Yeah, MSc, sir. MSc, MBA, MCA. Yes, sir.
Right. So all three options has their option in the higher studies direction. First thing is to decide whether you're really interested in doing computational work. You're interested in doing computer work, then you can opt for MCA option. If you're really into the business skills, or you really want to pursue physics plus business direction, then you can look for MBA. And if you really just want to pursue basic science, continue, develop the research, write papers, read papers, become a professor, scientist in that direction, then MSc is a really good option. So you'll have to ask her the best what she's interested in, business, computer, or science.
Okay, sir. I think we've answered most of the questions. That's it, sir, from the questions.
Thank you so much, Uma.
Thank you so much, sir. It was an indeed honor to have you speak and giving us so many, it was like such informative webinar, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we have a lot of people telling we want more such webinars, on YouTube and.
Okay. Sure, we can arrange more sessions like this later.
They're sending a lot of love from all over India, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ma Maheshwari, for being the voice of all of these people who couldn't unmute and ask. Thank you so much, Dr. Ganesh sir, for solving our queries so devotedly. Thank you once again. I now request Professor M.D. Lakshman sir, Associate Professor of Physics, YMLAC, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good evening to one and all present here to the webinar of Career Opportunities in Physics. Honorable Chief Guest and eminent speaker, Dr. Ganesh Jai Omar sir, our beloved Principal Dr. Shashikala Madam, Professor Anupama HOD Physics, dear colleagues, respected participants, and dear students. The program has come to an end, and it's time to show our gratitude and say thanks to the entire participants and our guests and our speakers and the people, those who are directly or indirectly helped for this program success. So first, our principal, Dr. Shashikala, being the catalyst that inspired us to do our best and stand as pillar of our strength. Today, Madam accepted to preside the function and made it most successful. But unfortunately, because of her busy schedule, she could not participate. Still, it is our duty to show our gratitude and say thanks. Okay, so on behalf of the MLAC. Okay, on behalf of all the participants, I say thanks to our beloved principal, Dr. Shashikala Madam. So now, our honorable chief guest, eminent speaker, so he's so young. See, instead of, in addition to his inspirational speech, his career, his student life, his qualification and his achievements are the inspiration to everyone. Dear students, so take his which one achievements as a model and try to achieve something. Okay, so now in addition to that, today has taken so much of which one, so the care in sharing his knowledge, and so the opportunities which are available for the students, those who are studying in physics. Okay, so now a student can become, how to become an eminent scientist. A student, okay, so particularly physics students, okay, is a multi-dimensional, multi-talent, okay, student can enter into the all field of which are not only the science, even the technical field, medical field, commercial field. Okay, so he has mentioned in his lecture, so management field, okay, so defense field, banking, okay, railway, NTPC, okay, particularly in research field, he has explained very well. Understood? So now with this patience, so we must understand that what achievement he has done, and so how much he has taken care to explain everything to us, and particularly for the students. Students, don't waste this webinar. Take it as an opportunity. Okay, try to understand, and if possible, so take the email address, if possible phone number, be in contact with him and try to achieve something. Understood? See, you have seen that. Okay, so we in the engage only, so yes, got which on the awards in the engage only got awards. Okay, let it be the inspirational, okay, role for you. Okay, sir, on behalf of the principal, on behalf of the physics department, on behalf of entire management, okay, and staff, so we are thanking you, sir. Thank you very much for your
Thank you, sir, for your concluding remarks and vote of thanks. Dear participants, feedback form is posted in the chat box.
has taken more responsibility in organizing this function. On behalf of everyone, I thank Akshay and Anupama. Also, I thank our dearest colleagues, okay, Narayan Reddy sir, Sarvamangala madam, okay, for their cooperation for this session. Okay. Also, it is my duty to thank, particularly the anchor, Miss Bhavana, and the beautiful prayer, okay, rendered by Sri Lakshmi, and okay, and the introduction given by Trisha Reddy, and the moderator Uma Maheshwari. And in addition to that, I must thank all the students who have asked many more questions. Okay, so more and more questions. So not only for you, it is helpful the many students. Understood? On behalf of ML Maharani Lakshmi Ammani College family, so thank you one and all. Now, at last, not least, I thank all delegates, participants, students, and the people those who are directly or indirectly helped for the success of this program. Thank you, one and all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your concluding remarks and vote of thanks. Dear participants, feedback form is being posted in the chat box. Your views on the program are very important to us. Please provide feedback on this session by completing the survey. Thank you for all joining us today, and have a great day ahead. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ganesh. It was
Thank
a
you so
wonderful
much.
experience, and you shared lots and lots of information with our delegates. Very, very nice of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, sir. Yes. Thank you, dear participants. Now the session is over. Thank you very much for all your interactions. Thank you very much.
सही कहो पैंट फट दिया वो दूसरा हमारे यहाँ पीछे
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Mona, can we end?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
sir, we can end.
Please, sir. You can end, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir. It was wonderful, wonderfully
Yeah,
organized,
thank you,
sir.
ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Ali Fatima, ma'am, are you there? Ali Fatima, ma'am, I think she's on. Ma'am is on mute. Yeah, I think she's on mute. Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.